Like, just that list of, oh, hey, these are things in this genre that are coming up in the future. Or like a year or so ago. And then I saw it popping up on social media here and there since then. Specifically a lot more now, obviously, because a lot of people are doing the demo, and there is a decent amount of information getting put out by the devs on socials as well. So this promises to be a good one. Volume should be all good, but as usual, yell at me if it isn't. As you can see, it drops you straight in. And I would be shocked if people aren't making Hollow Knight comparisons for this one. Which leaves me slightly concerned about whether I'll like it, because of things we've talked about with Hollow Knight before. Look at that, they actually have, like, a specific demo thing there. I believe this is another one where the pathing is altered because it's a demo, compared to what it would be in the normal game. Does seem like it's a little loud, but it's taking control of my mouse even though the mouse is not being used, so I need to fight with it a little bit. Oh yeah, that is definitely a little loud. Okay, hang on. Either I judged that incorrectly or something changed. Either one. Oh yeah, while we're in here, as you can see, solid amount of settings for something of this style. You don't really need that many settings for something like this. And there is a speedrun mode. We are not going to be dealing with the speedrun mode. I do hope they add more accessibility settings in the future than just controller vibration, because having an entire tab for accessibility and then just having one setting in there seems a little silly. But, again, it's a demo, so I'm assuming that's a promise to have more in the future by having the section for it. Once you defeat an enemy, you gotta break the orb that comes out of them in order to get your reward. Breaking the statues here gives you back health. That left bumper thing I think is a heal. I did not do enough of the... Right. We've had so many games today that give me a double jump. I forgot this one doesn't have a double jump. As you can see, there's spikes down there. Spikes are bad for your health. So is platforms that break out from under you. What you wouldn't have seen, because I didn't actually walk over there, is to the right there was a door that wasn't open. That lever opens the door. Shocking concept, I know. We got weird slinky monsters now. I played a little bit of this demo, as with all the others, to test things out ahead of time and see if this was a demo I wanted to cover. I did not go very far, though. Is for obvious reasons, I didn't want to see too much of it. Just wanted to make sure it worked. Oh, hello there. Nice to see a friendly face. My name's Bertram, and... Wait a second. Do we know each other? You seem awfully familiar. Oh! Oh! Your hair! I found you! I was told to send anyone with purple hair to the foundry. What's up, Lark? They're having issues with their pipes, I think. Just continue this path to the right. It leads straight to the foundry. If you ever get lost, you can always open your minimap with right stick. I don't know what the right stick is. Good luck, and be careful, please. There are mean robots ahead. So how do I get out of here now? Yeah. Constance will think about the minimap if you ask for the minimap. Now we have an arena to fight in for a moment. Turns out he takes 3 hits, not 2. There we go. Job's a good one. As you can see, you do liquefy into paint when you dash, so you can actually use that to get places. Which is an interesting idea. And there you go, there's the blocked for demo messages. Again, forgetting that this is, like, the only game, pretty much, without a double jump out of this batch. That's gonna keep catching me. In hindsight, I should have done this one first so I didn't have that problem. But, you know. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. I forgot that I didn't need to jump in order to air dash. Turn him pink. Ta-da. Inspired. Precision brush. Brush attacks have a small chance to hit critically for double damage. Neat. We also apparently have a paint max increase. Inspirations can only be sketched at the shrine. That makes sense. It looks like we already have it attached, though. Can't go that way. Get our health back up a bit. There we go. Leave no money behind. We don't know if we're gonna need it in the demo. Suddenly, looks like civilization here. Okay. Oh, this is where I stopped when I was testing this, by the way, as I ran up to here and then I stopped. I also didn't check that side room before. Hello there, fellow traveler. The name's Robert, a roaming photographer extraordinaire. I capture memories of all the places I visit. You might even call me a journalist, haha! So, what kind of camera do you use? What do you mean you don't have a camera? This is a travesty. Blasphemy, even. How would anyone remember a place if they ever want to revisit it? Luckily for you, I always carry a few extras. Here, take this one. Look at that. It's even loaded with a few snapshots already. Camera unlocked. Press select to take a snapshot. Why don't you give this bad boy a try and capture us in this room? Just press select. There you go. We now have a picture of this room. It's interesting that I didn't even do this on purpose, but both these games back-to-back have a screenshot feature built in. Wow! I wasn't expecting you to nail it on the first try. Oh, and do you see that light stone at the top? As long as you hold on to this snapshot, you'll always remember where it was. And don't worry about your snapshots, they're reusable. Whenever you delete one, you can use it again. Now get out there and capture the world's mysteries on your map, one shot at a time. I assume that's the actual reason they have you take a picture of this, is because you can't get that light stone yet, and I presume we want the light stone. That would make the most sense. Okay, bear that in mind. Get electrocuted when we hit these square sparky boys. It seems like it's gonna be a little bit of a tight fit, but we can make it work. Seems like you gain, like, ever so slight height. Okay, you cannot dash through the electrified barricade. Understood. Yeah, when you hit the wall, you gain, like, the tiniest bit of height. I don't know if there's ever gonna actually be anything that's gonna happen with that, but I'm gonna keep that in mind. Just make a quick painting. I assume... Ooh. New brush technique unlocked. Paint stab. Thrust your painted brush to damage enemies and temporarily remove corruption. Can be used horizontally and vertically. Press the direction and then press B to perform the paint stab. This technique consumes paint. I thought this was going to be a save point, not a move. I also can't go back to do the other bit that we just passed that had this. Looks like we do have to move through these pretty quick, though. Ah, okay, so they're corrupted robots. That's why they're all sparky and dangerous. And here I was thinking it was electricity. Huh. Maybe I need to stab that? Aha! And that opens a shortcut. Look at that. Now we can get this chest. You know, if I didn't stand in the corrupt spot when I was hitting the box. Art piece collected. Collect 3 pieces to increase max health. Looks like we already had one somehow. But I assume that's going to be our main mechanic for this area, is dealing with these electric circuits using our paint stab. Slide under that, slide through that, jump between these, beat up this robot. There we go. Now this is probably the shrine. Yep. Meditate here. I don't want to take a picture. There we go. Precision brush. Oh yeah, it's not gonna fit, and I can't rotate them. And yeah, that is the paint overload already. Okay. And yeah, that's not helpful. I'd rather keep the higher max paint. Oh, hello, milady. Did Bertram send you here? I knew I could rely on that bubbly gentleman. Pardon my forwardness on this matter, but these are desperate times. Our main elevator has been broken for quite a while. To repair it, the pipes have to be filled with paint again. You seem to be quite experienced in the matter. Do you think you could take a look at the leak? Yeah. Eureka! You are a godsend. Thank you so much. Just follow the pipes. Sooner or later, you should find the issue. Report back to me when you find anything. Alright. Okay, that's a nice touch. And let's go back to that for a second. Notice how we actually, like, balance ourselves on the platform as it's moving up and down. That's actually a really nice touch. Seems to be a dead end currently, though. So I need to go to the right instead. Little things like that are great. Just like little tiny bits of character that are there for no other reason than to just indicate a little bit of character. Oh, he went into the grinder. Real shame for him. Okay, that ain't gonna work. This spot's too small and I'm not really gaining anything by dealing with him. There we go. This is very smooth so far. And obviously well drawn and everything. I feel like that goes without saying. A little strict on the timing with that one, but it's workable. It does almost feel like there's a little bit of a mix of aesthetics going on here instead of one united one, though. That might just be me on that. I'm not sure. It's like some of the robots don't feel like they necessarily blend entirely with the rest of the visual style here. But that, again, may be intentional. Ah, there's also gears to contend with. Understood. Ooh, that was very close. And I do like that you actually are leaving paint trails around. Like, this guy, he blends in art style-wise with our character, for example. I guess it was more just that one specific robot that didn't quite fit. And I think it was how his arms were animated. They were animated well, and they looked good. They just didn't quite fit stylistically. At a glance. That may just be me getting a bad read on that one, too. Oh, you can fit in there. Okay. I figured I'd just give it a try just for sake of argument. And lo and behold, it worked. This is a really awkward bit of positioning for everything. Yeah, something in the way the flying bot there moves his arms. I don't know what it is. I can't put, like, words to it specifically. It's just like, huh, doesn't quite feel right. I do appreciate the sheer amount of healing available to you in this game so far. Like, they're actually real generous with that. Oh, there's 3 of the microphone was in the way of that third one that's real close to the door. Wow, this is really mean, huh? Now is not the time to prompt me about something, game. Trying to do something here. Corruption. Careful. Certain abilities cost paint. You've used up all your paint and are now corrupted. In this state, using abilities will drain your health. Wait for your paint reservoir to fill. I don't have time for that. There we go. Like, that was the worst timed tutorial message in the world. It makes sense that it happened because it was the first time I had gotten corruption. Oh, this is just a bad situation. And we don't have any healing left either. Okay. That was a bad miss. Interesting. So you can persevere, and the puppet's curse will befall you, empowering all enemies, or you can go back to the shrine. That's really nice that they actually give you the opportunity to just not die, basically, but make things harder. We're gonna go ahead and go back to the shrine, because it wasn't that long a trip, and it'll give me a chance to adapt a little bit more. But I appreciate the fact that it's not just a guaranteed, hey, you're going right back to that checkpoint situation there. Yep. Now I'm starting to try to rush. And that was me fumbling the inputs. Because for some reason my brain went, yeah, dodge is B. And I don't know which game made me think that. We weren't dodging with B today, I don't think. It is a common dodge button, but it was not this one. What's over here again? Oh yeah, the door we can't open. There are certain aspects of this that I'm not the biggest fan of so far, I will admit. But I feel like it's one of those, once you get used to it, it's not bad, just it's mildly annoying to me in my current mental state, considering the mild aggravations we've already had so far today. It all kind of starts to add together and just be like, you know, this could have afforded to not be like that. It's like, oh, fuck's sake. I can't say that it's asking a lot necessarily, but it's asking more than one might expect right out the gate, I think is the fair statement to make there. Well, look at you dodging my attack. Also, you have a lot of health. God damn. Fuck's sake. I really thought my jump was going to be able to reach that. But 90% of the platforming in this game so far seems to be designed with dashing in mind, rather than your regular jump being worth much of anything. Case in point. Oh, and it doesn't even count any of the platforms I was on before as a checkpoint either. Wonderful. I had no choices there. It was either fall all the way back down or take the hit there. There was no, like, good move to make in that position. This is a little bit more precise than would be to my taste, I think is the main thing to take away from this. Especially when things like that are very easy to have happen. Just gets kind of annoying. Like, not very annoying, but it's just mildly annoying. Because I feel like, and maybe I'm imagining this, but I feel like I'm getting ever so slightly pushed back whenever I'm using the paint thrust, and I hit one of those barriers. I can't tell if it's pushing me back or if it's just slowing me down so it feels like I'm getting pushed back. That's where the fiddle in how I'm feeling about that is coming from. And I'm just not really a fan of it so far. And I feel like it's a little over-reliant on that already. Because we're having to use it, like, everywhere so far. Like, in terms of charm and art and everything, this game is hitting all the top marks pretty much across the board. Just some of this layout is just not doing it for me. Oh, okay, it's right stick to move around the map. I was expecting it to be left stick, but all that does is take you directly to your snapshots, which is fine. That's actually a useful thing to do. I do feel like I'm gonna be a little bit more critical of this one, both because of how praised this has been already, and just the way today's been going. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt a little bit, especially because of the second statement I made there. But I do think this one's been harmed by the expectations put into my mind by what I've seen other people saying about this one already. Which is unfortunate because that's not really the developer's fault that people have been praising their game. But it sets a different expectation for it than something you don't have any information on. Yep, I am gonna have to go the long way, just because they made sure that this was just high enough that you can't do that. Which is gonna mean you have 2 moving parts to worry about instead of 1. And they're, of course, not synced in a way that'll be beneficial to you. I really do feel like this jump is a little bit weak. Like, weak isn't the word I want for it, but that's the closest I can get to how I feel about how this jump feels. Of course, let's not have any of the solid ground that was in this entire exchange over here be where you get put back to. No, you have to do the whole thing over again. Why? Genuinely, why? Like, that one, I'm not gonna clarify or caveat at all. That's genuinely just I don't know why the solid ground you've landed on before this point isn't where it puts you. Like, some of it makes sense. Like, there where the thing's going back and forth, sure. You'll get hit if you get placed back, depending on the timing, so that one's an issue. And these are all moving, so that's not great. I guess there really isn't any solid ground in here, but, you know, maybe you should put a rest point somewhere in a section like this. Just a thought. Just so people don't have to do a good, like, 8 or 9 moves again, just because they made one small error, which is very easy to happen. I'm gonna eventually die just trying to get through this. just gonna say this right now, because I fully anticipate that being the case. I really feel like they are asking a fair bit for somebody who just has a jump that is just this. That's all you have to work with, really. This and one dash that... The dash is at least good, but I do feel like our jump doesn't quite feel up to the task of what they're asking here. Now, admittedly, I don't know if this is the path to progress or if this is extra what I'm doing here, because I've had no indication of one or the other in this game so far, in a way that I can immediately go, yes, this is the way the game wants me to be going. Like, obviously, they've given me plenty of information about the path and everything, just not a clear indication of this is exactly where the next main progression beat is. Which is fine. That's how this genre works. They're not supposed to tell you everything about where you're going and what you're doing. Oh, fuck's sake. You really just had to have that loop all the way over this area, didn't you? You just had to have that be the thing. Maybe I should have... Maybe this really should have been the one I did first, so I was in a better headspace getting into this one. This really is getting the unfortunate treatment of I've already had a pile of small aggravations build up over the course of today. So it's not getting as good a reception as it would ordinarily. That's not to say it would have had the best reception because of some of the choices here anyway, but I think I would be more lenient. But because of the nature of how much this specific game has been getting praised already, I feel like I'm gonna end up getting some flack for what I'm saying, if anybody even notices me saying any of this. And that's kind of a... Okay, really now. Really, you still end up getting put all the way back down here. You really think that that's how this needs to be laid out, huh? And the best part is, we haven't found a shrine in a hot minute either, because the shrine's down here. We haven't technically traveled that far if you think about it, but the amount of hurdles involved between here and there makes it take way longer than it needs to traverse this. Because it's all timed block nonsense involving the corruption. And maybe that's the thing at the heart of why I'm kind of annoyed at this, is I think we've all had it be well documented that I don't care for timed mechanics, particularly. So that being the main gimmick of this beginning section here, just immediately plays against me. Nope. And to say the fact that I can't see harms this is a little unfair, because they did at least give you the ability to move the camera around, but also this isn't much of a look around function, if I'm honest. You get like a little bit more range and that's it. Can't really say that that's oh yeah, I'll forgive some of the angles they're putting me at because I can move the camera situation there. It's like, not really. Even if you were actively maneuvering the camera with that, I think you'd still be getting blindsided by some of this. And to go back to the jumping thing that I was talking about, the reason why I'm so hesitant on that statement is because I can't tell if they made the jump a little lighter than I feel like it should be, or if it's just because everything is spaced so precisely. Because I cannot say that any of this was... Oh, they just didn't think this through. They thought all of this through. Every single thing here has been very willfully placed. It's just been willfully placed in a way that I can't say I agree with. But take this platform I'm standing on right here, for example. Why is this not treated as solid enough ground for you to be placed back to when you get hit? Why? Like, is there a genuine reason why this could not be a valid return point? So you don't have to go through the entire segment all over again. Case in point, we're all the way back down here again. And I keep hitting select thinking that's gonna be map. But no, you have to press start to get the map. This select is camera. What I was gonna point out is I don't know if I need to be up here. But as far as I've been able to tell, there's not really anywhere else to go, so this must be required. And as you all know, I'm not bad at platforming. I'm not doing great today, which is, again, not helping this game's cause in particular, is I admittedly did not realize quite the scale of the demand there was going to be on this one. If I had realized that, I may have actually done this either the other day or just passed over this one entirely because I would not be up for it. But at this point, we're kind of committed now. Again, that doesn't help its cause, which is another thing that is not its fault. But hey, look, here's another perfectly good platform that could have been a checkpoint along the way here, but isn't. Followed by another one that would be a perfectly serviceable checkpoint spot. Yep, we're dead. I don't know how they expect you to time that. Like, that one seems very nastily timed. We're gonna go ahead and just make the enemy stronger. This is not like we have enemies to fight in here anyway. And I don't know how long the curse lasts, but I just really don't feel like running all the way back here. Just really not in the mood for that right now. And I feel like this is gonna end up getting doomed to the same scenario that I had when I had tried out Hollow Knight for the first time. Because I'm feeling feelings that are very reminiscent of that time as well. Yeah, but see, you have so much... How do I explain this? You have so much more hover than you need to in a specific scenario like that, but also not enough hover between the jump and the dash for all of the times where you need to cross more distance. Like, it just does not seem like the way this is laid out and the way you move are really in agreement with each other. And maybe it's just the way I'm trying to move that's the disagreement. But it just doesn't feel like the two go hand in hand properly. And I'm not talking massive changes need to happen. I'm saying this is like a game of a couple pixels shift would make this way, way more or nice as far as the flow goes. Because the vast majority of missed jumps have been like, oh hey, you're not even a character model away from where you wanted to be. Oh, I hate that. I hate that that's what they want me to do. But to explain what I think I'm supposed to do over there, for those who may not have picked up on it, what you're probably supposed to do, based on what I can tell of what's been happening, is you hit it, drop onto the moving platform, jump, hit it again, land on the moving platform when it's swung further to the left, and then jump across. That is a lot for, like, the first 20 minutes of a game. Actually, I need to check something now. This is gonna bug me. Yeah, no, this does not have the precision platformer tag either. Yeah, nowhere on this does it mention, like, a focus on precision platforming or anything, and yet we've been having to do a lot of it in this demo. Like, it mentions platformer on its Steam tags and such, but it doesn't really, like, use the precision platformer tag that would be, I think, more fitting for the degree that this is going to. Like, for all that I'm grumbling and grousing at this, I am still enjoying myself. I want to make that clear. But I am definitely reaching the point where I am getting frustrated with this very specific room here. The frustration is a split between frustrated with myself and with the way this moves, though. So the amount of times we've been, like, so close, and yet something stupid happens, like, oh hey, you hit that, but hey, what do you know, that platform you need just happens to not be in range, and you have no way of fixing that. You're just fucked. Aha! Like, I think that's this specific segment's thing that's pissing me off, is there's too many moving parts, and you are basically at the mercy of the ride, as far as that goes. There's not much room to adapt to the situation to try to save yourself if something goes wrong. Like that specific spot there, for example. I wasn't gonna be able to reach if I tried to dash to the left. But I didn't have enough lead time to try to come back, so it was either I take a hit and fall, or I fall anyway. Like, there was just no winning in that scenario. Now, the only other thing I could think of to try to do is catch it on its way up and see if I can get across that way. Okay, yeah, you can do that, but that too is very, very precise. Oh, what the fuck is this? Okay, not as bad as it looked, but it still looked... bleh. Yep. Oh, this counts. Oh, I think I understand some of their criteria for it a little bit now. The stone is what counts. And yeah, all this is for a health extension, which makes a lot more sense, but ugh. This is still a lot. If I wanted to play a precision platformer, I would have been in a much better condition doing it. Somehow I didn't die there, and I'm not really sure how. But there we go, we got the health extension. Is it my imagination, or did our health bar not really move an appreciable amount? 'Cause I look up there, and I genuinely can't tell the difference. I have to assume it increased, but I just think it's not, like, as big an increase as I might have expected for the amount of work I put in there. But that begs the question, where the hell am I going, then? Because I see no connecting points out of any of these rooms. I have to assume one of these rooms has an exit point somewhere. Or that I didn't go through. But where is it? Fuck's sake, I just want to open my damn map. Yeah, there's the empowerment right there. Which doesn't seem that bad. They do drop more stuff, so maybe it's not actually a negative to have the empowerment happen. Like, I was expecting them to be a lot stronger, not just like a little stronger like those guys are. For fuck's sake. Just want to get rid of this little shitter. There we go. Because otherwise I was almost guaranteed to get hit when I was trying to go for that stuff. Yeah, let this be a lesson in how important it can be to be in the right headspace when you're doing something. And that now and then, maybe it might be a better idea to cancel plans or adjust plans to better suit the situation. Why is there a symbol here? Why does this room have a symbol? There's nothing here. I guess just certain rooms just have one of their main features drawn on it for reasons? I don't know if that's an artistic thing or if it's... Ah. Well, that explains the part where it didn't make sense. Cubicus, Recycler of Realms. He's glowing too, so bosses are also empowered. Which, that's kind of brutal. Okay, no, I just hit him. Because of the yellow glow being similar to the corruption thing, I wasn't sure if I needed to hit him with the brush first and then attack him or not. Like, he himself is at least not that bad, based on the amount of damage we're managing to output on him. And he makes his movements very clear. Now, getting an opening sometimes is a bit of a pain, but that's fine. Yeah, and you have to hit him in the eyeball thing on him, which changes direction, as you saw there. And I keep ending up on the wrong side. God damn you. Because you can't hit through it either. Even though your attack animation will fit through, it doesn't count it. Yep, now he's gonna get corrupted. Because I think we all kind of assumed that this was gonna be a thing he was gonna do at some point. And he is making a noise for anybody that might not be able to hear it. When he comes crashing down, he goes a little bit. Attack damage, my unbeloved. Okay. He stays uncorrupted for a decent amount of time, but I'm gonna end up fucking this up here at the end, which is the worst feeling. All because I'm starting to get impatient because he spends a lot of time making you play the hurry up and wait game by bouncing all around the room. Guess who forgot they can't dash through corrupted things? May as well persevere. They're already buffed. It's not like it's gonna matter. Oh, hey, there's just one of those. Oh, right. I forgot that this fight opened this way already. Come on. I do kind of wish you would have any kind of indication as to which way he was going to be facing when he comes down. It seems to be alternating, but you don't know which way he's going to be starting, because I don't think he stayed on the same side he was facing when he came down the first time. And he really just likes spinning around the room like this over and over again, which is getting real old, I gotta say. Like, don't get me wrong, having a very simple, repetitious pattern is good for people memorizing it, but it's also really bad for people like me who their pattern recognition works well, but their brain gets very bored of a concept quickly. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're just gonna do that again and again and again. But like, what if I tried to do something else to change that? That was not a hard fight. I just was too impatient the first time. And then he exploded. It almost looked like he was gonna turn into like some kind of human-shaped thing at first, with the way he crumpled and then just exploded. Yeah, combat-wise, this game feels reasonably good, if a little basic. Like, as much as I hate comparing something to the same thing over and over again, I do kind of feel like I have to bring the Hollow Knight example up again. Is it really feels much the same as that situation of, like, the main thing you can do is just hit with your main attack, and that's really all you have. The paint stab exists, but it's very similar to your basic attack to begin with, so you don't have a ton of variety to work with in your tool set early on. That's not saying that other games don't have a small tool set at the beginning as well. Hello, my lady. How may I be of... By Clara the Creator, what are my rusty eyes witnessing? You did it! A pipe was repaired! Eureka! My deepest thanks to you, brave little purple-haired woman. I feel very ashamed to ask for even more favors, but... do you think you could have a look at the other 2 pipes as well? We can, of course. Also rest for a moment. You must be exhausted, I'm sure. So be it. Let's take a breather and return very soon to the task at hand. Thank you so very much. I kind of figured that was going to be the end of the demo, which is why I just went ahead and talked to him. Like I said, this game is good. I do think it needs a little bit of tweaking as to how some of that's laid out, perhaps. But again, maybe that's just me specifically and this specific time I'm playing it coming out a bit there. And I'm more inclined to forgive it now that we know that it was for something extra. I do feel like marking where the exits in a room are on your map would be really nice, though. The fact that there were connecting points that I had no idea about because all the rooms were round with no exits shown other than the ones you already went through. At least as far as I could tell, they were the ones I already went through. Was unfortunate. And I do kind of wish we had had a little bit more time to come to grips with the regular controls of the game before having all of those timed mechanics stacked on. But I am still going to wishlist it myself, and I do think it is well worth people wishlisting it. Because it is a quality product in all of its presentation and everything. It just, like I said, has those few bits here and there that I'm just like, nah. I have mixed feelings on those. I think we'll do probably one more demo and then we'll end. I'm very much feeling like I am more tired than I should be. But I also, despite sleeping through the night, feel like I didn't sleep well. Like, I've just been feeling like low energy all day.